The earth was quiet, almost peaceful, under the soft glow of the morning sun. But this calm was only a fragile mask over the storm that humanity would soon face. Scientists in orbit and on the ground had detected something massive moving through space. It was the Galactic Empire, a force that had never taken humanity seriously. They believed humans were weak, insignificant, and easy to crush. But they were about to learn a lesson they would never forget. Captain Hannah Kim stood on the bridge of the Earth flagship, Aurora. She stared at the holographic display, watching the movement of the Empire fleet through the solar system. The ships were enormous, shining like stars as they moved in tight formation. Hannah felt a knot of anxiety in her stomach, but she pushed it aside. She was a soldier, and soldiers did not give in to fear. Commander Daehyun Park, her second in command, approached with a tablet in hand. Captain, the Empire fleet is approaching Mars orbit. Estimates suggest their lead warship is equipped with weapons we have never seen before. Hannah nodded, gripping the railing. We expected this. Prepare the fleet for engagement. Alert Earth Command. They need to know we are ready. Down on Earth, Admiral Jiwoo Lee was already coordinating the defense. He moved from one terminal to another, issuing orders to every orbital station, warship, and defense system. The human fleet was smaller, less advanced, but it had something the Empire did not understand. Humans never gave up. Every man and woman, every pilot and engineer, understood the stakes. Earth was their home, and they would fight to defend it. In the control room of the orbital defense station, young engineer Suman Choi worked tirelessly to upgrade the warship's shields and weapon systems. His fingers flew over the holographic keyboard as he activated emergency protocols and reinforced the fleet's defenses. We can't let them break through, he whispered to himself, eyes scanning the data streams. We won't let them. The first signs of the Empire's arrogance came quickly. Their scouts tried to enter Earth space undetected, but human sensors caught every movement. The Empire's commanders assumed humans would surrender at the first show of power, but Hannah and her officers knew better. They had trained for years for this moment. The fleet began to move in formation, sleek human ships weaving around the massive Imperial warships. Speed and adaptability were humanity's greatest weapons. Captain Hannah gathered her officers. Listen, everyone, they think we are weak. They think they can crush us without a fight. We will show them what humans are capable of. Keep to the plan, stay alert, and protect Earth at all costs. Commander Daehyun Park checked the status of all ships. All units report ready, Captain. Shields at full strength, weapons systems operational. All human pilots are in position. Hannah gave a sharp nod. Good. Let's remind them why they should never underestimate humanity. The first skirmishes occurred near the asteroid belt. Humans used the rocky terrain to their advantage, darting between massive asteroids to hide their movements. Imperial ships were massive and powerful but slow and rigid. Hannah's tactics were unpredictable, forcing the Empire to react rather than act. Small human strike teams launched surprise attacks, hitting weak points on the Imperial ships. Each attack was a message. Earth would not bow, Earth would not surrender. Meanwhile, Admiral Jiwoo monitored communications with the Galactic Council. The alien diplomats expected Earth to plead for mercy, but humanity remained silent. They did not negotiate from fear. They negotiated from strength. Every broadcast sent from Earth's fleet to the Empire was a declaration of defiance. Humans are united. We will not fall. As the hours passed, tension grew. Explosions in the distance lit up the dark expanse of space. Human pilots executed daring maneuvers, weaving through enemy fire and striking back with precision. Captain Hannah led a small group of fighters on a risky mission to disable a key Imperial warship's engines. The risk was enormous, but Hannah knew that victory required courage. Engineer Suman worked around the clock, patching damaged shields and rerouting power to critical systems. His hands were tired, his body ached, but he could not stop. Every second mattered. Every action could tip the balance in humanity's favor. We have to hold them, he muttered, watching the holographic displays of the fleet's movements. Back on Aurora, Hannah and Daehyun coordinated the human strategy with precision. Deploy the fleet in a wedge formation. Use the outer ships to flank them, while our center hits their lead warship, Hannah ordered. The plan relied on timing and human ingenuity, exploiting the Empire's overconfidence. The Empire responded with overwhelming force, firing massive energy beams that cut through space like lightning. Human ships took damage, some were destroyed, but every strike slowed the Empire's advance. It became clear that humans were not merely surviving, they were fighting back with skill and determination. Captain Hannah's heart pounded as she saw one of the Empire's largest ships crippled by human firepower. "We are stronger than they believe," she said quietly, determination in her voice. "And this is only the beginning." In the midst of the battle, Commander Daehyun observed a gap in the Imperial formation. "Captain, if we exploit this, we could strike their command ship directly. This might force them to rethink their approach." Hannah studied the data, then nodded. "Do it. Alert all units. Focus fire on that target. Let's remind them that Earth will not be conquered." As humanity pressed the attack, news from Earth reached every human ship. Citizens were building and repairing weapons, tending to wounded soldiers, and sending messages of support to their fleet. The unity of humanity strengthened the resolve of every fighter in space. They were not just fighting for survival. They were fighting for pride, for honor, and for the future of their species. By the end of the day, the first wave of battle concluded. Humans had taken losses, but they had also achieved something remarkable. They had humiliated the Empire, showing that even against overwhelming odds, humans could stand their ground and strike with cunning and bravery. The Empire, confident in its superiority, had underestimated the resilience and ingenuity of a species it considered insignificant. Captain Hannah stood on the bridge of Aurora, looking out at the remnants of the Imperial fleet. Her eyes were sharp, her mind focused. "We will win this," she said, more to herself than anyone else. "The Empire thought it could break us, but they are learning the wrong lesson. Humanity is not to be underestimated." Engineer Sumin smiled wearily as he checked the systems one last time before resting. "We held the line today," he whispered. "Tomorrow we strike back stronger." As Earth's fleet regrouped and prepared for the next engagement, one thing was certain. Humanity had faced the Galactic Empire and had shown that courage, ingenuity, and unity could defy even the most powerful forces in the galaxy. The war was far from over, but the first chapter of humanity's defiance had been written in the stars, and it was a chapter of pride, hope, and unyielding strength. Humanity's fleet regrouped near the orbit of Mars, the damaged ships patched and shields reinforced. The battle had tested their courage, but it also had shown them the strengths they did not know they possessed. Captain Hannah Kim moved along the bridge of Aurora, checking on her crew and ensuring every system was ready for the next phase. The Imperial fleet was still formidable, but now humans had learned their patterns and weaknesses. Commander Daehyun Park approached Hannah with a report. "Captain, our scouts have confirmed that the Empire is reorganizing. They are frustrated and confused by our tactics. This is the perfect time to strike again." Hannah nodded. "Good. Prepare the fleet. We need to keep them off balance and show them that Earth will not surrender. Alert all ships to stay on high alert." Down on Earth, Admiral Jiwoo Lee worked with his officers to coordinate reinforcements and logistics. The planetary shipyards were alive with activity, building new fighters and repairing warships. Civilians volunteered to transport supplies and manage communication systems. Every person on Earth understood the stakes. The Empire had underestimated them, and humanity would not make the same mistake twice. Young engineer Sumin Choi checked the weapon systems and reinforced the hulls of the fleet's ships. "We have to be ready for anything," he muttered, his eyes scanning the data streams. "They won't expect what we have planned next." Hannah called the officers to the strategy table. Holograms of the Imperial fleet floated above the table, showing positions, weapons, and weaknesses. "We know their strengths," she said. "But more importantly, we know their weaknesses. We will use every advantage Earth gives us. Asteroid fields, gravity wells, and our speed. We will hit where they least expect it." Commander Daehyun traced a course on the hologram. If we split the fleet into two groups, we can ambush their flanks while the center group distracts them. It's risky, but it may force their lead warship into a trap. Hannah considered the plan. Risky is the only way we have. Prepare the pilots. This is our chance to take the fight to them, not just survive. As the fleet moved, young pilot Ji-hoon Lim took his place in his fighter, looking out at the stars that stretched endlessly around them. We fight for Earth, he whispered. We fight for our families, our homes, and our future. We will not lose. The ambush began near the asteroid belt. Human fighters darted between the rocks, moving fast and striking hard. The Imperial fleet was slow to respond, expecting a straightforward battle. Humans attacked from multiple directions, overwhelming the Empire with unexpected maneuvers. Explosions lit the dark space as Imperial ships struggled to defend against the agile attackers. Captain Hannah directed Aurora's guns with precision, targeting weak points in the Empire's formation. Focus on the lead warship. Disable their engines. Once they slow, the rest will be easier to handle. Commander Daehyun coordinated with other human ships. Outer wings, converge on their rear. Center, keep pressure on their front. Timing is critical. Do not hesitate. Engineers like Sumin worked frantically, ensuring the fleet could continue fighting. Each ship was patched in record time, weapons recalibrated, shields reinforced. Every second counted and every human played a part in the battle. Their courage and determination were the true weapons, making up for what they lacked in sheer firepower. The Imperial commanders were growing frustrated. These humans are more cunning than we expected, one said. We cannot simply blast them into submission. Hannah smiled faintly, watching the Imperial fleet falter. They think strength is everything, she said. But strategy, speed, and courage, these are ours. A group of human pilots led by Ji-hoon Lim performed a daring maneuver, weaving through enemy fire to strike the Imperial fleet's weapon systems. Explosions rocked the enemy ships, leaving them vulnerable. Hannah saw the opening she had been waiting for. All units, concentrate fire on the lead warship. This is our chance. The lead Imperial ship faltered, its engines damaged by human precision fire. Sparks and energy bursts filled space as systems failed one by one. Humanity had gained the upper hand, but the battle was not yet over. The rest of the Empire fleet tried to regroup, but the humans anticipated every move, striking at their weak points and forcing them to scatter. On Aurora, Captain Hannah monitored the battlefield, her eyes sharp and focused. Good work, everyone. Stay on target. We are turning this battle in our favor. Remember, we fight for Earth. We fight for humanity. Young engineer Suman smiled as he observed the data. We're doing it. We're showing them that humans are not weak. We can fight back. Admiral Ji-woo coordinated Earth's communications, broadcasting messages of hope to the fleet. Humans are united. We fight as one. Never forget, the Empire may be powerful, but courage and unity are stronger. The skirmish continued for hours, with human pilots and warships outmaneuvering the Empire at every turn. Explosions and debris filled space, but humanity pressed on, determined to maintain the momentum. Every hit, every clever maneuver, every act of bravery reminded the Empire that humans could not be taken lightly. Captain Hannah gave the final order for the day. Pull back to regroup, repair, and prepare for the next wave. We've made our point. They know that Earth is not defenseless. But the war is far from over. As the human fleet returned to Mars orbit, the crew aboard Aurora and other ships shared a sense of pride and determination. They had taken the fight to the Empire, and though losses were felt, the first victory in tactics and morale was theirs. Humanity had proven that even against a powerful enemy, intelligence, courage, and unity could make a difference. Engineer Sumin looked at the stars and whispered, "This is just the beginning. We will keep fighting, and we will show them that Earth cannot be defeated." Captain Hannah Kim stood at the bridge, gazing at the distant glimmer of Imperial ships regrouping. "They underestimated us once," she said quietly. "They will not make the same mistake again. Humanity is ready, and we will face whatever comes next with strength and courage. The human fleet prepared for the next phase, each member of the crew understanding the importance of their role. Pilots, engineers, commanders, and civilians alike were united in a single purpose: to protect their home and show the galaxy that humanity would not bow. The first battle was behind them, but the war was far from over. And humanity, with its courage, skill, and determination, was ready for the trials that awaited among the stars. The next phase of the war began near the orbit of Jupiter, where the human fleet prepared for another engagement with the Galactic Empire. Captain Hannah Kim stood on the bridge of Aurora, eyes scanning the holographic displays. The Empire's ships were massive, their weapons powerful, but humans had learned their weaknesses and were ready to exploit them. Commander Dae-hyun Park approached, holding a tablet filled with new tactical plans. Captain, the Empire is trying to reorganize, but their formations are slow and predictable. We can use this to our advantage. Hannah nodded, her face calm but determined. Prepare the fleet. We attack in coordinated waves. Focus on speed and precision. We must hit their weak points and force them to scatter. Young pilot Ji-hoon Lim ran through the pre-flight checks of his fighter. His co-pilot, Mi-young-han, adjusted the targeting systems. We have trained for this, Mi-young said. We know what to do. Let's make it count. Down on Earth, Admiral Ji-woo Lee continued to coordinate reinforcements and logistics. The planet's shipyards were producing new fighters, repairing damaged warships, and supplying energy cells and ammunition. Every human contribution, no matter how small, strengthened the fleet. Civilians cheered when they saw the fleet transmitting messages back to Earth, their courage boosting the morale of those in space. The battle began with human fighters weaving through Jupiter's moons, using the gravitational pull to gain speed and maneuver in unexpected ways. The Empire's ships fired massive energy beams, but their size made it difficult to track the nimble human pilots. Small, coordinated strikes from multiple directions targeted the weapons and engines of the Imperial ships, forcing them to retreat and regroup. Captain Hannah directed Aurora's weapons systems, choosing critical points on the enemy ships. Fire at their engines and shields. Disable their systems first. We can take out the rest after that. Commander Dae-hyun coordinated with other human ships. Outer wings hit the flanks. Center group, maintain pressure. Keep their attention divided. Engineer Sumin Choi worked tirelessly, rerouting power to shields and weapons, repairing hull breaches, and monitoring the energy output of Aurora. We must stay operational, he muttered. Every system counts. We cannot afford mistakes. As the battle intensified, a squadron led by Ji-hoon Lim performed a daring maneuver, weaving through enemy fire to strike the Imperial fleet's command ship. Explosions rocked the enemy vessel as its engines failed, leaving it vulnerable. Hannah saw the opening and ordered the fleet to concentrate fire on the crippled ship. Sparks flew across the void as the ship was heavily damaged, forcing the Empire to retreat further. The Imperial commanders were growing increasingly frustrated. These humans are not easily defeated, one said. Their tactics are unpredictable, and their speed is unmatched. Hannah smiled slightly. They expect brute force to work, but humans fight with intelligence and courage. That is their mistake. Throughout the battle, human crews displayed bravery and skill. Pilots took daring risks to strike weak points, engineers repaired critical systems in real time, and commanders coordinated every movement with precision. Even minor victories, like disabling a small fleet of Imperial scouts, contributed to the overall momentum of the human fleet. Admiral Ji-woo Lee monitored communications with the Empire, sending messages of warning and defiance. Humans are united and determined. You will not defeat us easily. Our courage and skill will protect our home. As the battle raged on, Captain Hannah ordered a final strike on a formation of the Empire's largest warships. Using the gravitational fields of Jupiter and its moons, human ships accelerated and launched a coordinated attack. Explosions erupted across the enemy fleet, disabling weapons and engines, and forcing the Imperial ships to retreat into open space. Young engineer Sumin smiled as he observed the results. We are showing them that humans are not to be underestimated. Our courage and unity are stronger than their power. Commander Daehyun checked the fleet status. All units report operational. Damage is manageable and morale is high. Humanity is holding the line and pushing forward. Captain Hannah looked at the retreating Empire ships. Today, we proved that humans can face the mightiest forces in the galaxy and survive. But the war is not over. We must remain vigilant and ready for the next engagement. On Aurora, the crew celebrated their achievements quietly. Pilots, engineers, and commanders shared a sense of pride and accomplishment. They had faced overwhelming odds and had emerged stronger. The unity and courage of humanity had turned the tide in their favor, at least for now. As Earth's fleet regrouped near the orbit of Jupiter, messages from civilians and fellow soldiers boosted morale. The planet itself seemed to breathe with hope, knowing that its defenders were holding strong. Humans had shown that intelligence, courage, and teamwork could overcome even the most powerful enemy. Captain Hannah Kim stood on the bridge, gazing at the distant stars. "The Empire may return," she said softly, "but humanity has proven that we can fight back. We will continue to protect our home and show the galaxy that humans are not weak." The human fleet prepared for the next phase of the conflict, each crew member aware of the stakes and ready to give everything for Earth. The first victories had been won through strategy, courage, and determination. The story of humanity's fight against the Galactic Empire was far from over, but the message was clear. Humans were strong, united, and ready to face any challenge among the stars. The human fleet had regrouped near Saturn, preparing for the next decisive engagement against the Galactic Empire. Captain Hannah Kim stood on the bridge of Aurora, her gaze fixed on the enemy fleet as it reorganized in the distance. The Imperial commanders were confident, believing they had learned from the previous encounters. But humanity had grown stronger, smarter, and more united. They were ready. Commander Daehyun Park approached, holding the latest tactical analysis. "Captain, the Empire is attempting to protect their central command ship, but their flanks are exposed. If we focus our attack there, we can disrupt their formation completely." Hannah nodded. "Prepare all pilots and warships. This is our chance to strike at the heart of their fleet. Stay focused and coordinated. Our timing must be perfect." Young pilot Ji-hoon Lim checked his fighter systems, while his co-pilot Mi-young Han adjusted targeting coordinates. "We will make it count," Mi-young said quietly. "We fight for Earth, and we will not fail." Down on Earth, Admiral Ji-woo Lee coordinated reinforcements and logistics. The planet's shipyards were working non-stop, producing new ships, repairing damaged ones, and supplying critical resources. Civilians contributed by managing communications, maintaining supply lines, and sending messages of encouragement to the fleet. Every effort, no matter how small, strengthened humanity's resolve. Engineer Sumin Choi monitored the fleet's systems tirelessly. Hull integrity, shields, and weapons were checked repeatedly. "We cannot afford any failures," he muttered. "Every ship counts. Every life counts." The battle began as humans launched a coordinated assault. Fighters darted between Saturn's rings, using the gravitational pull to their advantage. The Imperial fleet responded with overwhelming firepower, but their massive ships were slow and predictable. Human pilots moved with agility, striking at weak points and forcing the Empire to split their forces. Captain Hannah directed Aurora's weapons with precision. "Target their engines and shield generators first. Once they are weakened, the rest of their fleet will be vulnerable." Commander Daehyun relayed commands to the fleet. "Outer wings, flank the enemy. Center group, maintain pressure on the lead warships. Timing is critical. Coordinate every move." Engineer Sumin worked frantically, rerouting power to shields and weapons, repairing hull damage, and monitoring energy levels. Every human in the fleet played a role in maintaining operational strength. Their determination was as much a weapon as any laser or missile. Human pilots displayed remarkable bravery. Ji-hoon Lim led a daring maneuver through enemy fire, striking the command ship's weak points. Explosions rocked the Imperial vessel, causing it to falter. Hannah saw the opening and ordered the fleet to concentrate fire. Sparks and debris filled space as the ship systems failed one by one, forcing the Empire to retreat and regroup. The Imperial commanders were growing frustrated. "These humans are not easily defeated," one said. "Their tactics are clever, and their courage is unmatched." Hannah smiled slightly. "They believe strength alone wins battles. But humans fight with strategy, skill, and heart. That is our advantage." As the battle continued, human crews demonstrated extraordinary teamwork. Pilots executed precise attacks, engineers repaired critical systems in real time, and commanders coordinated every action with care. Even minor victories like disabling enemy scouts or capturing strategic points added momentum to the human side. Admiral Jiwoo Lee monitored the fleet's communications and sent messages of defiance to the Empire. "Humans are united, determined, and resourceful. You cannot break our spirit. Earth will not surrender." The humans pressed their advantage, striking the Empire's flanks with speed and precision. Explosions lit up the void, and Imperial ships struggled to defend against the coordinated attacks. Humanity's ingenuity and courage were on full display, proving that even the mightiest empire could be challenged. Captain Hannah ordered a final strike on the remaining Imperial warships. Using Saturn's gravity and the fleet's agility, human ships accelerated and launched a precise assault. The result was devastating. Key enemy ships were disabled or destroyed, forcing the Empire into full retreat. Engineer Sumin allowed himself a small smile. "We are showing them that humans cannot be underestimated. Courage, unity, and intelligence are stronger than brute force." Commander Daehyun checked the fleet's status. "All units operational. Damage is under control, morale is high. Humanity has gained a significant advantage." Captain Hannah looked at the retreating Empire ships and spoke quietly. "We have proven that humans can face the strongest forces in the galaxy and survive. But the war is far from over. We must remain vigilant and ready for the next challenge." On Aurora, the crew shared a sense of pride and accomplishment. Pilots, engineers, and commanders had fought bravely, demonstrating the strength and resilience of humanity. The fleet had not only survived but had humiliated the Empire, proving that courage and intelligence could overcome raw power. As Earth's fleet regrouped, messages from civilians and fellow soldiers boosted morale. The planet itself seemed to breathe with hope, knowing that its defenders were holding strong. Humanity had shown that skill, courage, and unity could turn the tide of battle, even against overwhelming odds. Captain Hannah Kim stood on the bridge, gazing at the distant stars. "The Empire may return," she said softly, "but humanity has proven that we can fight back. We will continue to defend our home and show the galaxy that humans are not weak." The human fleet prepared for the next phase of the conflict, each crew member aware of the stakes and ready to give everything for Earth. The victories had been hard-won, but they had sent a message across the stars. Humanity was united, strong, and ready to face any challenge that came their way. The remnants of the Galactic Empire's fleet were retreating into deep space, their massive ships damaged and their confidence shattered. Captain Hannah Kim stood on the bridge of Aurora, watching the enemy fleet withdraw. Humanity had faced the Empire and emerged victorious in strategy, courage, and unity. But the fight was not yet fully over. There were still battles to come, and humans had to secure their place among the stars. Commander Daehyun Park approached, holding a detailed report. "Captain, the Empire is regrouping far from the solar system, but their forces are severely weakened. If we pursue carefully, we can prevent them from recovering and ensure Earth's security." Hannah nodded. "Prepare the fleet for a strategic pursuit. We do not want unnecessary losses, but we must maintain pressure. Humanity cannot allow the Empire to recover easily." Young pilot Ji-hoon Lim checked his fighter systems one last time, while his co-pilot Mi-young Han adjusted targeting sensors. "We've come a long way," Ji-hoon said quietly. "Earth is counting on us. We will not fail." Engineer Sumin Choi monitored the fleet's energy and shield systems. Every ship needed to remain operational for the pursuit. "We must stay at peak performance," he muttered. "Every human life matters. We fight not just with weapons, but with our determination." Back on Earth, Admiral Jiwoo Lee coordinated communication networks and logistical support. The planet's shipyards were still producing reinforcements, but the focus had shifted to maintaining and strengthening the existing fleet. Civilians sent messages of encouragement and maintained vital support systems. Every human on Earth was part of this effort, reinforcing the unity and resilience of their species. The pursuit began as humans advanced through the outer reaches of the solar system. Using advanced tactics and knowledge of gravitational fields, human ships moved swiftly, anticipating the Empire's movements. Small groups of fighters targeted supply and communication ships, crippling the Empire's ability to coordinate effectively. Captain Hannah directed Aurora's weapons and strategic operations. Focus on their weak points. Disable their command and support ships first. Do not engage recklessly. Precision and coordination are key. Commander Daehyun relayed commands to the fleet. Outer wings, flank the enemy. Central units, maintain pressure. Every action must be coordinated. We fight as one, for Earth. Human pilots executed daring maneuvers, exploiting the Empire's slower, rigid ships. Ji-hoon Lim led a small squadron through a dangerous asteroid field, striking at the enemy's rear. Explosions rocked the enemy vessels, leaving them vulnerable and scattered. Humanity's ingenuity and courage were on full display, forcing the Empire to retreat further and further. Engineer Sumin worked tirelessly to maintain shields and weapons systems. Hull breaches were patched, energy rerouted, and systems recalibrated. Every second counted, and every crew member's effort was crucial. The determination of humans was as powerful as their weapons, and it showed in every successful maneuver. The Imperial commanders were increasingly frustrated. These humans are more than we imagined. Their tactics are clever and they never hesitate. We are losing control. Hannah responded quietly. They relied on fear and strength. We rely on strategy, courage, and unity. That is why we succeed. Throughout the pursuit, human crews demonstrated extraordinary teamwork. Pilots coordinated attacks with engineers repairing systems in real time. Commanders guided each maneuver carefully. Even small victories like disabling enemy scouts or capturing key positions contributed to the larger goal, ensuring the Empire could never easily challenge Earth again. Admiral Jiwoo Lee monitored communications and sent messages to the remaining Imperial forces. Humans are united and strong. Earth will not be conquered. You have underestimated our determination. The humans pressed their advantage, striking at the Empire's remaining ships with precision. Explosions and debris filled space, but the human fleet moved as one unit. Humanity's courage, intelligence, and unity were overwhelming the once feared Galactic Empire. Captain Hannah ordered a final coordinated strike on the remaining Imperial command vessels. Using precise maneuvers around the outer planets, human ships accelerated and delivered a devastating blow. The Empire's command ships were disabled, and their fleet fragmented completely. The humiliation of the Empire was complete, their might broken by the ingenuity and bravery of humans. Engineer Sumin allowed himself a small smile as he observed the results. Humans cannot be underestimated. Courage, unity, and determination are stronger than brute force. Commander Daehyun checked the fleet status. All units operational. Damage is manageable and morale is at its highest. Humanity has secured a clear advantage and sent a message to the galaxy. Earth is not weak. Captain Hannah looked at the distant, retreating Imperial ships. We have proven that humans can face the strongest forces in the galaxy and survive. Today, we have not only defended our home, but we have humiliated the Empire and shown our strength. But vigilance is still needed. The galaxy is wide, and humanity must remain prepared. The human fleet returned to orbit around Earth, triumphant but vigilant. Messages of hope and pride reached every ship. Civilians and crew alike celebrated the victory, knowing that humanity had secured its place among the stars. The courage and unity of humans had overcome a seemingly unbeatable enemy. Captain Hannah Kim stood on the bridge of Aurora, looking at the earth below. The Empire may have been humiliated, but we cannot grow complacent. Our strength lies in our unity, our intelligence, and our courage. Humanity has faced the impossible and prevailed, and we will continue to defend our home with all our might. Humanity had fought, endured, and triumphed. They had faced the Galactic Empire and proved that even against overwhelming power, determination, strategy, and courage could prevail. The stars now bore witness to Earth's might, and humanity's story of bravery and unity would echo across the galaxy for generations to come. The war was far from over, but the first major victory had been won. Humans had not only defended their planet but had earned the respect and fear of the Galactic Empire. The legacy of courage, ingenuity, and unity would continue, inspiring every human to fight for their home, their families, and their future among the stars.